What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video where the Winnipeg Jets have just played game 1 of 82 games. It's a season opener against the Calgary Flames, and to be honest, that was a lot of fun. The Jets come into this game, as kind of a wild card team, right? You don't know what they're gonna do. Their forward core on paper is as deep as it's ever been. Their defense is basically the same as last year for the current moment, and their goaltending, of course, is Connor Hellebuyck, right? So how will this translate on the ice? Well, against the Calgary Flames, who I don't think are the greatest team in the world, I'm gonna be honest, they looked pretty damn good, guys. Though Jets might have four legitimate lines that can score and play against really anybody. I was really impressed with the forwards, and no one really stuck out to me as, having a bad game or anything. There might have been a few guys shaking off the rust, like Nikolai Ehlers. Of course, he didn't play in the preseason. He was injured, so this is like his first ice time, basically, or real game action since last season, right? So Nikolai Ehlers did look a little bit not himself, but I do think that will change, obviously, as the season goes on. On defense, little bit of a different story. I mean, Josh Morrissey and Dylan DeMello played fine. I think the first period was a little rocky for them, and really everybody, to be totally honest with you. Dylan Sandberg was the star of the show on the defense, in my opinion. He showed great defensive, strength, ability, vision, whatever you'd like to say there. He was really good in his own zone, and in the offensive zone, he was actually engaged, and it was really good to see, because that's something that he needs to add to his game if he wants to be, a legit top 4 guy. Not to say that he can't be just a defensive guy, but it really does help if you can, add some offense in and get top 4 minutes, right? With Neil Pionk, he definitely did that. Pionk looked, good offensively, not the greatest defensively, but whatever. It was a pretty meh game. I don't think that he had the worst game ever, but it wasn't, a shining star performance. The Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt pairing were one of those where I didn't really know how to feel about it, didn't really notice him a whole lot, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Dillon was pretty okay, there wasn't any major mishaps. Schmidt, however, he did turn the puck over a few times, wasn't very good in either zone, and was, arguably the defenseman that I didn't like the most this night, right? But it is the first game. He hasn't played any preseason games either. It's another banging off the rust thing. But for Nate Schmidt, I think that the leash is a lot shorter than Nikolai Ehlers, obviously, due to status, and with guys like, Logan Stanley and Declan Chisholm ready to hop in the lineup whenever. So Nate Schmidt does need to improve big time. And, we're going to talk about him later on in just a second, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on the defense. Despite leading the shots pretty heavily against Calgary in the first period, the Jets were down 1-0, and then Kyle Connor would tie up the game, squeaking one through Markstrom. Markstrom making a lot of great saves, but Connor was able to squeeze one through him there, and the Jets would actually go into the second period down 2-1. In the second, the Jets continued pouring on the shots, and it would actually be Alex Iafallo with the tip, scoring his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet, and he looked damn good, guys. I'm not gonna lie, him and Velarde, they look kind of nasty out there. I'm really excited to see these guys play some more. Iafallo was one of those guys that I thought looked pretty boring in the preseason, but in this game, he was all over it. And the Jets actually, might have gotten a pretty decent haul here for the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. Obviously, they did, and I've said that many times, but just watching those guys play in the impact, and we haven't even talked about Kapari yet, very impressive. The Jets would head on into the third period down 3-2, and it would be late in the third Mark Scheifele would actually tie this game up. The brand new contract, brand new extension, won't kick in until, next year, but Mark Scheifele earning his money, putting one home, assist from Josh Morrissey. But right at the end of the game, just when you thought it was all good and all grand and we were going to overtime, Nate Schmidt would ice the puck on a very tired Jets group, and then the Flames would take advantage, win the draw, and they would score. Elias Lindholm, making this a 4-3 game, and then Mangiapane would put home the empty netter, and the Jets would fall by the score of 5-3. But you know what? They played pretty damn good, guys. You cannot be mad at that effort at all. Jets came out there, they balled, and if they play every game like that, they're going to win more often than not. Now, the big old shining star of the game award is going to go to Alex Iafallo, because that man showed out tonight. He was a guy that I was a little bit worried about. I was a little bit, questioning how well will he fit into that group with Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton on that third line, and he balled out, man. He was so good. So shout out to Alex Iafallo. Jets needed a guy like that. He reminds me I don't really know if we've ever had maybe a guy like him, maybe an Andrew Kopp comparable for him, but just shifty, good defensively, brings the offense. I love it. I don't know, goes to the net. He's a really good bumper guy on the power play. It makes a whole world of a difference when you don't have, you know, a guy fumbling it in the corner like Blake Wheeler did a lot of the time, playing the bumper on the power play. But yeah, Alex Iafallo, congratulations on your big old Shining Star Award. Overall, for you know, the first game of the year, especially when you have guys like Ehlers and Schmidt kicking off the rust, very impressed. I think that Cole Perfetti played well enough to be the second line center, right? He didn't look too out of place. There will be some growing pains there, of course, but as the season goes on, I think that he will grow into that role a little bit more. And yeah, I don't know, really nothing to complain about. The defense, I am a little worried about the defense. It does need to tighten up, but if the Jets are able to improve this defense core going on into the season, maybe at the trade deadline, whatever, they could be scary, guys. This is a deep team. Deep, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. But with that, everybody, I am going to hop on out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Who was your favorite player? Who balled out the most? Who caught your eye? I want to hear from you guys. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.